It is it's important in Quest 1, super important in Quest... Really? Fire on the water. There we go. That's a thing now. Hello guys, welcome back to the Legend of Zelda walkthrough. This time we're going to head on to Quest 2, and I'm going to do a 100% run of that one just like I did in the first quest. Yeah, let's just hit it up and get this thing going. Right at the beginning, there's a couple of things that are the same, but there's a lot of stuff that's different. The wooden sword is in the same place, and I recommend getting the wooden sword because you can't defend yourself if you don't. The second thing we're going to do is walk over here and get some bombs. Just like we did the first time, we're getting them from the same place, from the same enemies. And we're going to be trying to build up rupees, although I'm not doing a very good job, on the way over to actually grab the bombs. That's a little bit better. That's 5 rupees. That's a clock from the last enemy. I absolutely do not need clocks from the last enemies that I kill. Well, 5 more rupees. That's okay. We're going to want to try and get 20 rupees by the time we get over there to that little cave on the beach. Because that's where we're going to be buying bombs if I fail to get them off of a drop before then. I don't really need the clock. I typically have about 20 rupees by now on most of my runs, no matter which quest I'm in. Whoop. It's been very few times I've hit that screen and didn't have 20 rupees. This is where I'm hoping to get some bombs. Hopefully these Octa Rocks here will set me up with some stuff. Until I get the magical shield, that guy out there in the water worries me a lot. Because I'm going to be spending a lot of time with 3 hearts, wandering around with enemies. And later going to enemies that can pretty much one-shot you if you get touched at all by them. As you can see, I did not get bombs by the time I got here, so go in this cave and buy them. Yeah, it's not that big of a thing if you actually don't get bombs. I'm not going back down along the beach like I did in the first quest. Because I don't need to bomb that wall down there. The old man has moved. So, just go up here. The Armos that we pushed in the first quest to get 10 rupees right off the bat. There's still a guy under there that's going to give you 10 rupees. So this should be one of your first stops. You're going to want to pick up all of these. Whereas in the first quest, yeah, you could have skipped this guy if you had 20 rupees by the time you got to this screen. In the second quest, you're not going to want to do that. Even the guys that give you 10 rupees, you're going to want to go and get them like right straight away. I'm always on the verge of dying in Quest 2. Yay, a heart. The reason for that is that in Quest 2, money is way more sparse than what it is in the first one. Way more sparse. It's a secret to everybody. Alright. So, this screen could be death. Could be death. Hopefully it won't be, but it could be. Come on, guy, drop a heart. Be a friend. We'll drop some bombs. Bombs are always good. I missed. Yeah, as I was saying, money is sparse in the second quest as opposed to the first one. There were like 3 of these guys in the first quest that would give you 100 rupees. In the second quest, as far as I know, there's only 1. And I think I know where all of them are. Like all of the giveaway guys. So, I'm pretty sure there's only 1. Could be wrong. But I don't think I am. Anyway, the old man with the letter, he moved clear across the map into a place I can't get to right at the moment. And they put a shop there. Ooh, I want that heart. That shop is actually identical to the shop that's right above one screen up and one screen to the left of that screen that I was just on. And where I bought the candle in the first quest. So it's not that much of a difference. I could have bought the candle in the same place. I didn't want to because I think the place I bought the candle in the first quest was kind of dangerous. And I'm not eager to go back there. So yeah, going to this screen, I'm getting shot. Didn't mean to walk over right there because I want to burn this bush. Did I miss it? No, I hit it. And here we go, another guy giving us some money. Alright, no. That's me accidentally walking into a place. There's a word for that that's not coming into my brain right now. I don't know where it went. It'll come back later, I'm sure of it. Maybe, possibly, yeah. Anyway, continue to burn down random greenery. There's a secret on this screen, but it is not one that you can get with the candle. You have to come back there with another item and then use that item to indeed... I don't know where I'm going. I should go up from this screen, because then I would be right where I want to be. Yeah, you have to come back with another item, and we're going to be collecting that item early. Money is always good, because that's what we're actually collecting right now. I completely missed. I do that sometimes. Anyway, this bush, which I completely burned that time. Same thing as the first quest. I think this guy gives you 30. Yeah. And then 2 screens up, that bottom right bush. Same thing as the first quest. I think he also gives you 30 in this time around. Ooh. Yes, I did not get touched by a pea hat. And now, if you've been following along with me pretty well, you should have just about enough money to go buy that magical shield, which is going to save your life more times than I can even count. It's important in Quest 1, super important in Quest... Really? Fire on the water. There we go. That's a thing now. Twitchy controls. Alright, there you go. There are actually several of these shops all along the overworld. And there are 4 different types of shops. I've only ever used this one in the first quest, and it's probably the only one I'm going to use in the second. But I'll make a video showing where the other ones are. Alright, from here... Wow! Burn that bush right there. Give me a fairy or a heart or something. Heart. That's good. Give me a heart. Alright, don't give me a heart. Just be meanie. Anyway, we gotta get some money. Because now we're saving up to buy that blue ring. And we're not going to have the same money things that we had in the first quest. Because they gave you all kinds of stuff in the first quest. Yeah, not so generous this time around. Luckily, these screens are not too terribly hard to get to. Or to get through, rather, is the word I was going to use. I mentioned there was only one guy that gave you 100 rupees in Quest 2. He's right here. If you need life, this is still a fairy up here. And I think there are 3 fairy fountains in Quest 2. There's only 1 in Quest 1. And I'm probably going to be using all of them at some point. This is a rupee location that I didn't really use in the first quest, because by the time I come around to this one, I generally have enough money to do what it is I'm looking to do. Alright. This is also a place I don't think I visited in my first playthrough of the first quest. This place is called the Lost Woods. And in a later video, I'm going to cover the secret for getting out of that place. Alright, here we going up here. Yep. Alright, this is the place where in a previous playthrough and all of my test plays, I died here. I'm going to get the power bracelet, as you can see on my little flyout over there. I do not want them clumped around that hole. At this point in the game, coming in to Quest 2, these Lionels can one-shot you. So, don't touch them, don't try to fight them. At all costs, avoid that sword projectile. Because if it touches you, you are dead. There's no way around that. It's always that armor. So I think I mentioned that in the first quest when I was being chased off the screen by that guy. So yeah, always that Armus. This is where I typically bite the bullet if I'm going to die in this little bit. Okay. The graveyard has changed a bit. The magical sword isn't here anymore. But there's a dungeon in here. These guys are ridiculously hard to kill if you just have the wooden sword. It takes like 9 hits. But this one is Heart Container. First one of Quest 2. And the only one you can get without having to have an additional item. We're going to be going now to pick up another item that's going to enable us to continue our little shopping spree. Because we're not quite done yet. Some things you should know about Quest 2 is that money is far more scarce on Quest 2. So we're going to be we're going to have to be doing some grinding to get all of the money that we need eventually. But I have an additional method for grinding money that I didn't use the first time around that I'm going to use this time around. So I'll show you guys maybe an easier way to get money than the quote legit way of mining ghosts in that graveyard. Really? You're going to just bombard me with arrows? Yeah, this one it's kind of cheesing the game. And yeah, but with Quest 2, the difficulty has increased by a good margin. Alrighty, as you can see, we're here in the second dungeon. We're going to run in here and grab the item that's in this dungeon. And that's the only reason that we're actually coming in here right at the moment. We could go ahead and go after the boss, but I don't like fighting the boss of this dungeon. And you want to be very careful when you're fighting the Gyptos in this room, because their AI, if you're in one of those little side corridors there, I don't know if they were actually programmed to go around and come in the other way and box you in there, but every single time I walk into one, that's exactly what they do. So it seems like the enemies are tougher in the second round than what they are the first round. I don't think they actually are, though. What makes the second quest far more difficult than the first is enemy placement and room design in the dungeons mainly. We're just going to want to run through that room and this room. Don't want to fight off against any of these Gyptos right now. We're in here to get the flute. We have to kill everything in this room. All of these bats, or they won't let you open that door up there. What we're actually going to do is kill all but one of the bats, and then bomb this wall. Because right over in this room there is a key, but this room is tricky as we're going to be coming back through that from the north, and you can't get the key from that direction. So then we come back over here in this pre-cleared room and just kill that one bat. And make sure I have the bombs equipped. Yeah, there we go. I could have just looked and seen, hey, I have the bombs equipped. Hey, it's Gleok. I don't want to fight you. I want to run away. Up. So, come in here. Dark Nuts. Yep, Dark Nuts in Dungeon 2. Luckily, don't have to fight them. Just have to kill these guys here. and not get killed by traps. Like that. And grab the map. And then run. And then somehow make it across this room of darkness without getting tagged. And down through this room of bats without getting tagged. And into that secret passage right there in the wall. And there we go. Right inside this little staircase here, you'll find the flute. Now we're gonna need this. Alright, now here's a trick that I don't think I ever used in the first quest. And I'm not going to be using now because it just died. Anyway, I was going to come back to this screen anyway and choose continue. If you bring it up to this screen and then you hit up and A on the second player controller, it'll bring you back to the continue screen and you can warp back to the beginning of the dungeon. Why you don't want to use that trick in the end game is because your life automatically resets to 3 hearts. In quests in the early stages of the game though, when you only have like 3 or 4 hearts to begin with, it's not that big of a deal. So we're not quite finished with our shopping spree yet. We're going to go pick up a couple of other things. But because we're going to be hitting the dungeon and I'm going to be finishing the dungeon in the next episode, I'm going to go ahead and split the shopping spree in 2. So I'll be finishing this up and getting the rest of the stuff in episode 2. So I will see you then.